as Junjun. My nickname is Junjun and my real name is Sotero. Residing in a bona fide resident of Upper Talavera, Tinaan, City of Naga, Cebu, Philippines. So going back to problem number 4. What is the deep term there? Bona fide, right? So research that in the dictionary. What's the meaning of bona fide? Okay, now we have here, calculate the formula units of iodide ions in 4 moles of aluminum iodide. So first, scrutinize the K terms. First, formula units. Okay, secondly, okay, moles. Thirdly, ions. Okay. Guys, I use first, secondly, thirdly, meaning I use pronoun. Right? Adding ly is a pronoun. Okay? Numeral pronoun. Number, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. So, secondly, thirdly, like that in your discussion. So, that's pronoun, right? That's not an adjective. Okay? Like this. So, we have to solve this. Okay, comprehensively. See? Comprehensively, meaning I do it in a comprehensive manner. So, comprehensively is a pronoun, comprehensive is an adjective. Okay, something like that. Something like that mga talaga. Okay, now formula unit. What do you mean formula unit? We need to define this so that we can understand. Okay, formula units is based on the production of ions. When the ionic compound starts to dissociate or to be broken down into different elemental constituents in your chemical reactions, then the positively charged ions and the negatively charged ions will appear. Will appear. So will be generated and produced. And then the negatively charged particles will be your anion, and then your positively charged particles are the cation. So this is what we mean by formula units. So, restriction and limitation. You cannot use formula units if with a molecular compound. And what are the molecular compound? So they are the non-metals plus non-metals. Right? So we are concerned only for the metals plus non-metals because they have opposite electrical charges or charges that will yield 0 when you add each charge of that element. Okay, first of all, positive 1 plus negative 1 is equals to 0. The overall net electric charge or charge will always be equal to 0. So that's the purpose. That's why we have always a neutral compound. If the compound is not yet reacted to other elements or compounds, if that compound is not yet dissociated into different elemental constituents during your chemical reaction. So always 0 is your charge for a compound. In fact, only compound, also element. Not yet undergoing chemical reactions or not introducing a solution yet or any aqueous solution or solvents or anything. Could it be an inorganic liquid? It could be organic liquids? Not yet. You'll never introduce yet. So meaning to say you have a neutral compound, a neutral element, meaning you have a charge of 0, then that is representing the term neutron. N-E-U-T-R-O-N. That's why neutral. Okay, that's derived there. The root word is neutron, then neutral, add compound. Neutral compound, neutral element, something like that. So any questions so far with that emphasis or elucidation of shorthand explanation, brief explanation, sorry, or concise explanation. What's concise meaning? Brief, quick, something like that. Okay, not lengthy. Okay, that's in English. Concise. Okay. Now formula units. What is formula units? Now it's easy for us to solve the formula units because it's being asked in the problem. See, calculate the formula units. Oh, bingo! We can now solve properly because we understand what is that all about. Okay, then on. So, starts with your basis of calculation. What is your basis of calculation here? So we have only one datum or one given. We have 4 moles of aluminum iodide. Now, what is the chemical formula of aluminum iodide? Because in here, it's written in statement or written in words, not in a chemical formula. So, this is the reason why we should master the chemical formulas, okay? And familiarize the symbols of the elements and the chemical formulas, because some questions in the future related to science, specifically in chemistry, sometimes only statement and word. Okay, then you cannot do that. You gotta solve if you have a basic idea what's the chemical formula all about. Okay, aluminum iodide. Okay, Al. Okay, El. Normally, aluminum is in the group 3A. That's why it has a charge of positive 3. So aluminum 3, something like that. Okay. So this is gonna be aluminum. Okay, and then this is iodide, meaning a halide. A halide group, or basically the halogen family, something like that, okay? Together with fluorine, chlorine, bromine, iodine, acetylene, meaning these are nonmetals that are highly electronegative. Highly electronegative, meaning they are very, very thirsty and hungry to receive electrons from the electropositive metals, because these metals will always lose their electrons because too much. That's why electropositive. And then this halogen, chlorine, fluorine, bromine will accept the electrons coming from the metals. That's why they are called electronegative halogen family or halide group, something like that. Now we add this iodine to aluminum. Okay, something like that. Iodine, okay, something like that. Okay. Now, since we are treating here chemical reaction, not dissociation, so we will not use the iodide. We will use the iodine gas. Okay, aluminum plus iodine gas. Okay. For the purpose of discussion, we need to eliminate the charge because we know it already, right? So aluminum plus iodine gases, it will become aluminum iodide. Okay. Now, exchange the charges. Since we have 3 of aluminum, it will become here in the subscript of iodine. So I3. Since iodine has only 1 negative charge, no, it doesn't matter at all. You don't have to put in the subscript of aluminum during exchange of the charge, because it's also nothing, the same as nothing. Okay, like that. Okay, so Ali3. Now balance the chemical reactions. It's gonna be iodine is not balanced, aluminum is balanced. Guys, I will need to use the algebraic expression of balancing the chemical equation. I don't really love to do the trial and error method. Sorry for that, guys. Especially this 3 is odd number, odd, ODD. It's not easy to balance odd numbers in chemistry, but then it will produce a fraction in your balancing or an improper fraction in your balancing. So I don't like fraction. So I need to use the right expression so that I can understand really well. Okay, so aluminum balance. So you go to the iodine. Okay, before solving your problem, you need to do the balance of chemical equation, ha? Because it's related to ions kasi. Diba? Okay, this is the first version. So my first option how to solve this on the spot. Okay, something like that. We have iodine here. Iodine 2 in the left, and iodine here is 3. So we need to let an X as a number of atom of iodine. Why I do this in the left? Because the atom of iodine here, which is equal to 2 times 1 is equals to 2 atoms. And then in the right, 3 atoms already. 3 times 1, 3 atoms. So there's a deficient or insufficient or lack of number of atoms in the iodine gas in our reactant or in the left. That's why I need to put the X or the unknown of atom of iodine in my algebraic expression to equal to the atoms in the right or in the product. It's gonna be like, put that X here. Then beside iodine gas as your coefficient, as your number of mole. Then, to become an atom, it will become X times 2. 2 times X equal. Because you treat this in chemical equilibrium always if you try to get the number of atoms. always obeying the law of conservation of matter and mass by Anton Lavoisier, the father of modern chemistry. Okay, 2x is equals to something like that. Then we have the 3 atoms of iodine here. So x is equal to solve linear algebraic expression. Equals to 3 halves. I told you, fraction, right? 3 halves. Okay. Now put the 3 halves beside iodine gas. Okay? If you know algebraic expression of balancing equation, you can perfectly balance all the chemical reactions you encounter. Really, 101% sure. Okay, that is granting that you like chemistry, huh? Because if you don't like really subject, you will never put your heart on it. Really. You get the point. If you love really this subject, you can understand well, okay, something like that. So it depends on the situation also. If you don't love it, then you don't have the courage to study more, of course. Okay, 3/2, like that beside the iodine cast. Now, we don't want improper fraction or balancing of the equation as the rule in chemistry. There's no fraction in the number of moles. So we need to multiply this to a certain number so that it will be cancelled the denominator. So what is the denominator of 3 halves? It is number 2. So multiply the whole set of equation 1 to 2. So that it will be cancelled. It will become now 2 moles of aluminum. When you multiply the rule of algebra in math, right? It will become 3 moles of iodine gas is equals to 2 moles of aluminum iodide. Oh my gosh! So is this balanced already? Now review for the second look. Okay, balance first aluminum. Okay, aluminum to the right, something like that. Okay, 6 iodine like that. Okay, 6 iodine. So balance siya. Perfect. 2 aluminum plus 3 iodine gas is equals to 2 moles of aluminum iodide. Okay, now go back to the problem here. Okay, calculate the formula units and iodide ions. Okay, now there is a word ion. Okay, like that. We cannot have ion here because this is chemical reaction. There's no ion. So we need to go back to the dissociation chemical reaction. Dissociation. Okay, here in my discussion, I need to emphasize the possible options so that we can really, that's the reason pala siya, Sir Sotero. Yes, because we have a lot of options why. And in that situation, we can understand why we opted to use this one because this is really relevant to the problem. That's only my purpose. It's not planned to use this first. That's what only comes now on the spot in my brain cells. Okay? Like that. So I have still the option number 2 because I looked the word ions. Really things like this. Okay? An iodide ion. So we go back into the dissociation chemical reaction that starts with aluminum iodide. Okay. So aluminum iodide is here, right? AlO3. The product here. That this is aluminum iodide. Now, do not carry the 2 moles of aluminum iodide because this is the balance in the chemical reaction in the first option. Okay? Try to do the dissociation chemical reaction na talaga in this second version. So, aluminum iodide is equal to aluminum, ganun ba? Plus iodide. Only I. Nabuang ako na nahinumdum ko sa oxygen. Grabe yung brain cells ko, oxygen talaga yung hanap. Okay. I need oxygen to breathe. Nakakaloka. Okay, so aluminum iodide, mabuti wala oxygen, buong na Sotero. So aluminum iodide, okay, gano'n, nakakaloka, mga palangga. Okay, gano'n. So it will split to aluminum positive 3 and I, like that, 3 moles of iodide. See, it's totally different from the chemical reaction. This is dissociation chemical reaction. Okay, now 3 iodine, aluminum balance. So, what's the difference in this dissociation chemical reaction? Dissociation chemical reaction, there's a splitting of the charges. Here in the normal chemical reaction, there's no charges involved. Okay, now compute na. Calculate the formula units. Then 4 moles. Start with 4 moles of aluminum iodide as your basis of calculation. So 4 moles of aluminum iodide, mga pala na hitad. Okay, times mole of aluminum iodide. Okay, in the denominator. Okay, like that. Okay. Then, you are asking for the formula unit, right? Like that. So, 1 formula unit of 1 mole aluminum iodide. How much? That's gonna be using the Avogadro number. So, 6.023 times 10 to the 23 formula units. Okay? In my introductory part in this vlogging, I already discussed that, right? Okay. So, 1 mole aluminum iodide, cancel ang mole. What left is the formula units. Now, you can have now the formula units to answer the first question. Calculate the formula units. Okay. What is that? Scientific calculator, please. Diba? 6.023. Okay, 6.023 exponential to the 23 times 4 is equal to, it is 2.41, okay, times 10 to the exponential 24. Ganon. This is formula units, or FU. You answer now the first question, formula units. Now, calculate the iodide ions. Okay? Iodide ions. Now, your basis of calculation now is your formula units, because you solved already the formula units. So go back to your dissociation chemical reactions. Guys, in this kind of problems, it is very useful to understand if it is an ionic compound or a molecular compound to proceed further. Right? Because, ionic compound dissociation, like that. Because if you don't have an idea, mga muti man takay, dissolve ang ions. Okay? You get the point? So things like this, we need to remember. Okay, so 2.41. Okay, this will be the last problem before going to another topics, right? So 2.41, okay, times 10 to the 24 formula units FU, or times, okay, 1 formula unit of, okay, this formula unit is for the entire compound. Again, when we speak of formula unit, is in the entire compound. This is not in the element only. Okay, so we need to say 1 formula unit of aluminum iodide. 1 FU of ELI3. Because your formula unit is ELI3. Okay, ELI3. Now you need to determine only the iodide ions in that entire formula unit of aluminum chloride. Now you take a look for the decision chemical reaction here. Okay, how many iodides here? Ion. So there are 3. See? The ions represent the number of moles in that particular element in your 1 formula unit of your compound that has been splitted already in the dissociation chemical reaction. So you have 3 here, coefficient of the moles. So this is also the 3 ions of the iodide. So put that in the numerator. So we'll say 3 ions. Ganon. Cancel the formula unit, and you have now the ions as your answer. Okay, muna siya. So 2.41 exponential 24 times 3 is equals to 7.23 times 10 to the 24. Okay, 7.23 times 10 to the 24 ions of iodine. Okay, you have 7.23 times 24 ions of iodides, okay, iodide ions in your 1 formula unit of 2.41 times 10 to the 24 formula unit of aluminum iodide. Something like that. Because it doesn't need the gram issue here. Gram. Okay, that's the point. Hindi mo siya kailangan ng gram di-ari because formula units none. Okay? So no need. Unless it's being asked, calculate the formula units and iodide ion. Then you have to force yourself to start your basic calculation with the grams and connect that with the molar mass. But in here, you get so much of moles. So no need to think about the mass of aluminum chloride, aluminum iodide. So do not make your brain cells complicated to understand this kind of problem. So if that is not relevant, do not think too much. So in short, we need to treat all kinds of problem solvings as easy as they are. Because we have now the positivism that we can really solve that Talaga. Because if we label that as difficult all the times, then you will fail in an examination. Because you know, you label already that it is difficult. You get the point? Label this always as very easy as you can. That's also matters the most. Your mentality, your perception matters the most in taking different examinations you wish to take in the future. Always take positive that you can make it. Oh, it's very easy. Like that. Do not accumulate your braces because the past performance are only two are passing out of 20. No, do not. Treat that as easy as you can, or even think that you will become a top notcher. Then bingo, you can pass. Like that, okay? Just like me before. Okay? I want to become a top notcher. Something like that. Yes, really. Because libreng mangarap. Okay? Then after that, do a lot of efforts. Then, at least if you have a very high aim, then you will pass. Because if you will just aim to pass, more or less you will fail. Okay? Something like that. You maximize your goal into a higher level. Something like that. And be positive all the time. That those questions are very, very easy to answer, and bingo, you will pass. Okay? That's mentality matters a lot in taking examination. No, whatever. In interviews or any, in any job you'll be able to apply. Number one will take place in your brain cells is positivism. Because after positivism, you build confidence in yourself through your credentials, like that, your personality as as an examinee or as an applicant to the particular company that you're trying to apply for, something like that. Okay, it's really will boost your confidence if you treat first positivism, be positive, something like that. Okay, so things like this looks like very complicated to watch, but then if you treat this positively, oh, it's very easy, and you can solve this really. What is your number one, guys? Treat it positively. Okay? Like that. Or positive. Positive thinker always win in a battle or in a fight. Something like that. Positive thinker, yes. Kaloka. Positivism, right? Okay. Or being optimist. Okay, optimist is another term of being positive. Or optimism. Okay, something like that. Okay? Okay. And then the antonym is pessimistic or pessimism, meaning you are having too much negative on your minds. This is pessimistic. Pessimistic is the opposite of optimistic. Optimistic is being positive, and pessimistic is being negative. And this is a very, very, very negative trait of any individual, being a pessimism. Wow, pessimism talaga. Being a pessimist or pessimistic. We should always follow the positivism, being optimistic all the time. Okay, thank you so much. Any questions so far for this particular problem solving of substances, ions, particles, elements, atoms, compounds? Like that, you can ask questions to me directly in my FB Messenger. If there is something inconsistency and inconsistent in my delivery of academic information, then you can correct me also in the comment section and just chat that in my FB Messenger. Then I will issue error statement in my description. You get the point? A true professional will always acknowledge mistakes and weaknesses, because you will never be successful if you will never consider weaknesses and mistakes in your life, because there's no such perfect in this contemporary world. All are subject to imperfection. Okay, something like that. So please, 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 so that I can issue error statement, or what we call in journalism an erratum statement. Okay, being released by an author because it made an error. So it's normal. Okay, something like that. You get the point? Okay, you can like in the comment section, you can share or whatever, you can comment anything. It's accepted, it's up to you. And then you can also subscribe my YT channel if you aren't subscribed yet. And you can click the notification for some news updates. I am a singer, Eternal Voice, my science world and OSH world, and my personal vlog. And I thank you. God bless everybody. Bye-bye. See you later. Nakakaloka. Tabian kay ka, Junoy. Miss,